Guarded by Rohr. This is Gardner. Inside to knocked away by Grimm, but right to Malinowski. He scores with 5 seconds left. Massillon getting the ball down. Harper throws up. Shot, no good. This is over. Perry wins it by 144 to 43. By Brian Malinowski in the lane. Oh my, what a ball game. 14 seconds to play in regulation. Misses the second. Volleyball rebound. Ertl comes away with a Larry Taylor says, get the ball down court. Ertl falls down, needs some help. Ertl for three. Rim, no. Hit by Morrison. The buzzer doesn't count. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. We don't know. Fans are on the floor. They're pointing at the scoreboard. There it is. Jackson has pulled the upset. Jackson has beaten McKinley 41 to 40 on the Morris tip-in at the buzzer. Unbelievable game here. From the Canton Memorial Civic Center. WOAC. 67 Sports proudly presents 1991 Ohio High School Athletic Association Tournament. Tonight, the Canton District title game, the Perry Panthers taking on the Jackson Polar Bears. And this TV 67 special sports presentation is being brought to you in part by George Wakeham Ford. George Wakeham really is your friend at the factory. Value City Department Stores. No one gives you greater selection than Value City. Camelot Music, where you can earn free gifts as a Camelot repeat performer. Valley Systems and Hydro Laser Technologies, working today for a better tomorrow. And Toyota, and your Toyota dealers. Hello again, everyone. Scott Davis, along with my broadcast partner, Tom Canal, our statistician, Vic Steffen. Lee Carpenter producing tonight with the fine folks of Image Video with director Dean Marini and Frank Schubert. Two personal observations before I bring in my broadcast partner, Tom Canal. The records of the two teams speak for themselves. Perry, the number 2 seed at 21-1, and Jackson, the number 4 seed at 15-7. We have some outstanding players here tonight. For Perry, Pear, Chad Spurgeon, Steve Garner. For Jackson, Scott Miller, Mylan Herzig, and Sean Lutz, just to name a few. And, of course, Jeff Morris, who hit that game-winning shot. But let me mention, as you see, Chip Hare. Everybody knows what an outstanding basketball player Chip Hare is. But Chip Hare is also an outstanding individual, very personable, very down-to-earth. And that strikes me with all the publicity and all the fame that he's accumulated as a 4-year starter and all-Ohio player here at Perry High School. And a young man like Mylan Herzig, who was asked by both the football and basketball coaches at Jackson High School to change his role a bit, to become even more of a team-oriented player, an outstanding individual player. For instance, in the Jackson-Glen Oak game, because of injuries, he was moved to running back and scored the winning touchdown. Of course, Jackson went on to the football postseason. In basketball, he came back as a forward, and Larry Taylor says, hey, we need somebody to bring the ball up. Will you become our point guard? An unselfish player, also excellent in the classroom, a 4-point student who will probably end up at one of the Ivy League schools. My point is we have some outstanding young men, both on and off the court, which is probably one reason why the Panthers and the Jackson Polar Bears are both here tonight. And incidentally, a little aside for the Perry fans, just like with the players, we put 110% effort in on these broadcasts. And occasionally, like the players, our execution doesn't quite measure up to the commitment we make and the effort we make. So we're aware that Steve Garner is the all-time leading 3-point shooter. We'll try to keep the D out of his name tonight. And Steve, I bet we'll hope that that D translates on the court for a Perry victory and a trip to the Canton Regional Tournament. We'll have all that action for you live next week. So with those thoughts out of the way, let me bring in my broadcast partner, Tom Canal. And Tom, you've got two teams. Perry, 7th appearance in the district tournament in the past 8 years. Lost to McKinley in the finals back in '84 and '86. Jackson, 4th appearance in district play in the past 5 years. They beat Akron Garfield in the finals to go on to the regional in 1989. Two outstanding coaches. In fact, with everything that's happened over the past 2 nights, and I think this one's going to be very unpredictable as well tonight. I know you and I slightly disagree on that. But the only sure thing is a coach with the first name of Larry is going to move his team onto the regionals.
So you like Larry tonight?
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, all day long I thought about the ball game and how it would kind of evolve and right before our very eyes. And I really think the first 5 minutes or so is going to be important for Jackson. They have a tendency to start out a little slow, not protect the basketball very well. They've given up a number of turnovers early in the ball games. They've been able to overcome that in the tournament. Perry, I think, tonight is going to press and turn that defensive tempo up right from the opening tap. I think they're going to come at them with everything they've got, intensity like maybe Jackson hasn't seen for a while. And I'm afraid, from the Jackson perspective, I would be afraid of falling behind quickly and falling behind by a lot.
Now, over the past 3 seasons, which makes, in my mind, this game even more intriguing, Perry has won all 6 regular season meetings between the two teams. But in the past 2 postseason tournaments, it's been Jackson that's upset the Panthers and moved on, and as we mentioned 2 years ago, made it all the way to the Canton regional tournaments. So we showed you at the beginning how these two teams got here in 2 of the more exciting games that we've ever seen play here at this level, and personally I'm looking for more of the same tonight. We're going to pause and be back and talk more about this ball game. We're about 4 minutes away from the tip-off between Perry and Jackson.
The spring sale of sales continues at your friend at the factory, George Wakeham Ford. Wakeham and the Ford Motor Company have teamed up to bring you super savings for spring. Visit Wakeham Ford now and save. There are many customer cash assistance plans, as well as special Ford Motor Dealer incentive plans, which Wakeham Ford is passing along directly to their customers. There simply will never be a better time to buy a new Ford than right now. That's George Wakeham Ford, 4321 Lincoln Way East.
If you want that special floral arrangement or an elegant wedding cake, Giant Eagle 30th Street is your best choice. With loved ones across the country or around the world, it's nice to know that you can send floral arrangements anywhere through our Teleflora service. Our bakery can make cakes for weddings, birthdays, or special events, and our full-time florist can make that special arrangement for your most personal occasion. Call us or visit your neighborhood Giant Eagle at 30th Street in Canton.
Value City does it again. 2 great buyouts for spring. A $4.2 million buyout from America's #1 name in luggage, Samsonite. Direct from the factory, over 20,000 pieces at savings of 60 to 70% off. Featuring the world's greatest garment bag, not $185, only $59.99. Plus the world's greatest carry-on, not $175, only $49.99. $1.7 million buyout. A big selection of famous maker tennis rackets like these, not $90 to $200, only $19.99. Hurry in while quantities last at all Value City department stores.
Well, we drew straws, and I'm going to talk about Jackson for a bit, and Tom's going to talk about Perry. I truly believe the Jackson Polar Bears have absolutely nothing to lose here tonight. Very, very few people outside the Jackson camp even expected this team to be in this position. After all, they knocked off the heavily favored team, expected to make it back to the Final Four. The Canton-McKinley Bulldogs in a game, and you saw the final seconds. They've got some winners. People like Mylan Hersig and Sean Lutz and Jeff Morris and Brent Bowen, all on the football team that made it into postseason play, into the playoffs. And again, they're right back here in basketball. An outstanding basketball talent in Scott Miller, the 6'5 senior forward. And they're building some bench, and we saw that in the play off the bench, and a good 5-point performance there off the bench the other night by David Thiel. And a gritty young man like Tim Ertl, who's coming back from a serious knee injury that we talked about in our last broadcast. So I really believe there's no pressure on Jackson. No one expected them to be here. An outstanding coach right there in Larry Taylor, the all-time career leader in wins, 90 wins at Jackson High School. And he's been here before, as I mentioned, just a couple years ago. He won this district tournament, made it to the regional finals. I think for Perry, the real challenge, number one, trying to beat the same team 3 times in the course of the same season. And I would say if you polled 9 people, at least 7 or 8 would pick Perry to win this game.
Well, I think maybe 8 or 9 would. you know, everybody thought this was going to be a marquee matchup between the Perry Panthers and the McKinley Bulldogs. Their nemesis. They've never beaten McKinley. All of a sudden, Jackson pulls the upset in one of the most phenomenal finishes we've seen in a long time. In fact, the other two games were really amazing games from the fan standpoint, but neither one painted a Rembrandt in their win. I can tell you that right now. I know Larry Wilson's not happy the way they played the other night. A W is a W. They're in the game they wanted to get into. They don't have that one hurdle they were afraid of in front of them. Maybe they weren't afraid of him, but it's, you know, when you're trying to stop a train that's gone 23 straight games, you know, you don't look forward to playing that kind of a situation. I just think they're going to come out tonight. They got a mission. They want to play again next week. This is the senior group. They waited to come through school. They've lived sophomores and juniors to get to this. I think Chip Hare's going to have a big night. They've got a solid inside game. The guards are good. They probably got the best six-man off the bench, maybe in Ohio, and Brian Malinowski. So I think this is going to be Perry's night. Nothing against Jackson. In fact, they said out throw Jackson the other night. Well, that's not the case.
We will pause and be back with the starting lineups right after this.
If you are a Kane Toyota customer, here is a tip of our hat. People like you have placed us in the top 9 out of 10 Toyota dealers for customer satisfaction, and we plan to hold that high regard. 99% of our Toyota buyers recommend Kane Toyota to their friends, and for a good reason. You get good, honest information about our cars and fair dealings when you buy.
Hi, I'm David Kane, and if we haven't met you yet, please come in. That's Kane Toyota BMW in North Canton.
Hello, I'm Chris Valentine with Valley Systems. We're working today for a cleaner tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Dan Batchick of Valley Systems.
I'm Ben Boring of Valley Systems.
Hello, I'm Patty of Valley Systems.
Hi, I'm Jim with Valley Systems.
Hi, I'm Judith with Valley Systems.
I'm Ron Crone with Valley Systems.
I'm Pat of Valley Systems.
Hello, I'm Mary Wilder of Valley Systems. Hello, I'm Judy of Valley Systems.
I'm Dan Valentine of Valley Systems, and I'm proud to be part of a winning team.
The referees for tonight's game, and there you see him. On the left is Dan Fausner of Akron. On the right, Keith Walker from Cuyahoga Falls. A couple of veteran officials, and they'll have this game in full control tonight.
So a Federal League battle between Perry and Jackson. Third meeting in the regular season. As I mentioned, Perry swept both of those meetings back on December 14th, 55-45, and on January 26th of this year, 67-56. As I also mentioned, in both 1989 and 90, the Polar Bears upset the Panthers to advance in district play. In case you missed our open, the district semis, Perry 44-43 over Massillon in overtime. Brian Malinowski, game-winning shot with 5 seconds left. Chip Hare adding 15 points, and Malinowski with 10.
Coach Gary Brown and head coach Larry Taylor. For the home team, Perry.
They are introducing the coaches now, and for Jackson, it's Larry Taylor, his 7th season, 90 wins, 67 losses. He's assisted by Gary Jones, and for Perry, Larry Wilson in his 18th season, 276 wins, 117 losses, 70% winning percentage. Now we're ready to go with the starting lineups, and getting a start tonight is David Thiel, probably based on his fine performance against Canton McKinley. And you know what they're doing now? They're introducing the entire lineup.
Yeah, the whole team. One thing, too, if you're a superstition nut, Larry Wilson and the Panthers were on the same bench they enjoyed the other night. Larry Taylor and the Polar Bears are on the other corner from where they were.
Should mention, too, Larry Wilson's assistants, Keith Heist and Rob Toth. And as we mentioned, Larry Taylor of Jackson, his longtime assistant, Gary Jones.
For the Panthers, number 34, Brett Stockdale. For Jackson, number 32, Brent Bowen.
Brent Bowen, we mentioned, number 32, starting tight end on the football team, and he gives them some additional muscle inside off the bench.
For Jackson, number 40,
Rob Wilson, the son of Coach Larry Wilson. Number 40 for Jackson is John Bosley, a 6'2 junior forward. Matt Rodriguez, number 52, 5'10 sophomore guard for Perry.
Randy Schmidt.
Randy Schmidt, we'll see him tonight, 6'1 senior guard.
Number 44, Jim Westland.
Nice hand from what we look to see here as an absolutely jam-packed capacity. There are people outside begging for tickets.
Now we're ready for the starting lineups. Tim Ertl, number 24, 6'2", senior forward, averaging 3 points per game. Jason Petty for the Prairie Panthers, 6'5", senior forward, averaging 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. The hero of Jackson's win over McKinley, Jeff Morris, 6'2", senior guard, averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Number 20, Tremaine Young for the Panthers, 6'1", senior guard, averaging 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Mylan Hersick, 6'2", senior guard, averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. Number 22 for Perry, Chad Spurgeon, 6'5", senior forward, averaging 10 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds per contest. Sean Lutz, 6'6", senior center for Jackson, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. He had 6 assists in the win over McKinley. Steve Garner, 6'5", senior guard, school's best ever, 3-point shooter, averaging 10 per game, 3 assists and 3 rebounds.
I'll give you 5 on that one.
All right. Scott Miller for Jackson, number 52, 6'5", senior forward, 18 points and 5 rebounds, and the big man, All-Ohioan Chip Hare, number 54, Perry's all-time leading scorer, 6'10", senior center, averaging 22 points and 11 rebounds. We're set to go at the Canton Memorial Civic Center. We're excited about this one. It's been a great district tournament, and we'll be with you live all next week for the regionals. And at halftime, Tom will try to grab a couple of those regional coaches, and we'll set the scene for you, because the winner tonight will complete the 14 field. And again, we'll have all that action for you live next Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 6:55, Saturday night at 7:25.
And this winner plays St. Ignatius on Wednesday.
That is correct. And we might as well tell the folks, so we will keep them on the edge of their seats. It'll be Warren Harding and Lorraine Southview on Tuesday night. Anxious to see Harding, the football champions, combination of Harding and Warren Weston Reserve, and they have a chance to become the first school ever to win the football and basketball titles in the same season.
Do a double.
And of course, St. Ignatius, always an outstanding program, outstanding athletes in both football and basketball.
Under a new coach, Brian Becker.
Miller and Hare, the two leading scorers. Steve Gardner controls it for Perry. Get it over to Tremaine Young. Spurgeon fakes the 3, fakes the 2. Nice feed inside to Hare. Well guarded by Lutz. Scoop shot, no, and Sean comes away with it. Both Tom and I agree, 2 critical times. Right here, the opening minutes, and then, of course, the opening minutes of the third period after they come back out of the locker room. You really find out a lot about the teams in that span. Hersick buries the 3.
Perry jumped right back into his zone and just told Jackson, go ahead and take your best shot. They did. It went right through the hoop. Mylan Hersick with the first one.
Jackson at times has struggled from the perimeter, so that's a real bonus, and it'll help keep them in the game. Petty in the lane, took...
Oh, they're going to foul. Could have gone either way. They're going to get Spurgeon on a push. We thought it might have been a walk.
Foul
you can make the decision here at home. Nice bounce pass. Too many bodies.
Back to the action. Beat it inside. Spurgeon faked the 3. Had the ball stripped away by Lutz. We mentioned Sean Lutz, no points against McKinley, but 11 rebounds, 6 assists. What a performance. He's picking it right up here. Jackson with the basketball. We played a minute. They lead at 3-0.
Just goes to show you the scoring average and where you appear in the box score doesn't mean a lot.
Exactly.
They're going to be content, looks like, Perry, to let Jackson take the shot if they want it.
Morris. Rim no. Rebound Chip Hare. Kick it out to Gardner. Nice passing. Chip Hare foul line. Battle for the rebound. Jackson comes away with it. Another board for Sean Lutz.
And that basket, except for 40 feet away, that basket has not been kind to the teams going that way, you know. They can't make the 10-footers. Those are all, that's the Hail Mary bucket.
Jeff Morris, the hero. We didn't have him missing a shot in the McKinley game. He's 0 for 1 from the field in this one. Let's double team. The pressure defense by Perry forced that turnover. Spurgeon with it. To Garner, over to Young. To Petty, right of the foul lane. Wide open is Spurgeon, passed up the 3, drives for 2.
That's the first bucket off the turnover. I'm going to chart that a little bit. I thought that was the key coming in. The Jackson turnovers turn into Perry points.
3-2 Jackson. We played 2.5 minutes here. Winner plays St. Ignatius in the regional semifinals next Wednesday night.
Larry kind of predicted the other night, Larry Taylor, that we'd see a lot of zone out of Perry tonight. He was exactly right.
Fouls on Tremaine Young, his first.
It's tough when you got everybody named Larry. They're right, Larry? The reach-in's going to come right there. I think Young was okay the first time, but it was the second effort that got the foul.
Hersig got Gardner in the air, puts it up, no, and Steve rebounds. Perry can take their first lead of the game. We're approaching the 5-minute mark. Perry very patient. And Gardner bounced it off his leg.
He was pressured right against the inbound, or right against the baseline. Miller just forced him right against the baseline, no place to go, and dribbled it right off his foot. Here you're going to see nice defense. Just cut him off at the pass.
I think it's safe to say the lower scoring the game, the more in Jackson's favor. And as we approach the midway mark, we've only seen 5 points scored.
They're just going to let Ertl take a shot whenever he wants to. There's not anybody even out there on him.
Hersig has already hit 1 3-pointer, thought about the other. Passed it up. Both teams can be very, very patient when they need to be. Ertl for 3, off the side of the rim. Spurgeon will let it go out of bounds.
No harm, no foul.
Well, it's Jackson 3, Perry 2, or you could say it's Hersig 3 and Spurgeon 2. As you look at the sellout crowd here at the Civic Center. Chip here, got a step.
Or 2.
Young off the glass. No. Perry hitting the board. The foul over the back. They'll call it against Spurgeon. But Hersig had position.
And Perry got away with the travel. Took it up strong. It just wouldn't go in. It's like there's piano wire across the hoop down here. Here's the rebound. It's loose. Foul's going to come right there. Over the back.
Substitution number 12.
Hersig had inside position.
David Thiel is in. Ertl will get a breather, and Brian Malinowski checks in for Perry. And Tremaine Young will get a breather. So the 2 6-men are both in the lineup, and I tell you, they don't lose anything with these 2 youngsters.
And I tell you what, the offensive scoring averages of both teams haven't been hurt 3-2 in the middle of the first. We didn't see any points either of the other 2 games.
You see it there on the Timken Mercy Sports Medicine scoreboard.
Easiest guy here with the easiest job at the Civic Center all week long has been the guy with the scoreboard.
Hersig looking inside. Got it in there to Lutz. Puts it up. Down it. You would assume so. They're going to delay the signal. There it is right there. Count it in a foul.
Pretty good defense.
Substitution number 20, Tremaine
boxed in 3 men, and he gets it up, gets the roll. Jackson now with a chance to stretch it out to 6-2. Well, so much for my prediction. It's like my weather prediction that one year, remember?
While we pause here, 3:19 to go in the first period. Jackson with the early advantage. A 51% foul shooter. He's now 1 for 2 at the line in tournament play. He completes the traditional 3-point play and a 4-point lead for the Polar Bears. He played almost 5 minutes here in the first period.
Almost 5 minutes, and Perry with a deuce on the board.
Spurgeon to Garner. And the three. Spurgeon can't get it to go. And again, another rebound for Herzig. And Larry Taylor may be saying spread it out.
Herzig comes down and plays point guard. Then he goes down under his own defensive bucket, and he's cleaning off the glass.
He's proving me to be a sage as we get a good look at Larry Taylor about how versatile Milan Herzig is, whether he has a football uniform or he played tight end, wing back, running back, and on defense. The three for Thiel, short. Here comes away with it. On the break is Malinowski. Back defensively is Morris. Can't get it to go. Lutz comes away with it. Perry struggling here.
Again, good position by Lutz, and he pulled it down. One shot for the Panthers.
And again, Larry Taylor says spread it out here.
Boy, if Thiel would have hit that three.
Thiel again. Got it.
Goal by David Thiel.
8-2 Jackson. 2 minutes to play, first period. Well, Jackson is dominated, yet Perry's only down by 6. Young stepped on the line.
Whatever they can do wrong at that end right now, they're doing. It's like Murphy's Law down at that end.
Jason Petty back in, making his first appearance is Mickey Saban, 5'8" junior guard. Chappare and Tremaine Young go out.
One of the most unpredictable tournaments we've ever worked.
We'll take it one step further, the most unpredictable. Okay, say I made my one big prediction. Coach, first name of Larry will be moving on next week.
Yeah, that was pretty safe.
That was a tough one. I had to think long and hard about that one.
Typical Scott Davis neck extension.
Thiel, they're counted as a 2. The official had it all the way, but Jackson's lead now is up to 10-2.
Harry gets up and goes to the scorer's table. He'll be right back in. So I thought one of the teams was going to spurt away early, but I had the wrong one.
Right prediction, wrong team. Well, Thiel's giving him a lift off the bench with 4.
And they're only giving Perry 1 shot.
The board work has been outstanding by the Polar Bears here early.
You know, you live by the 3 and you die by the 3 if it doesn't go in.
Foul on the Polar Bears.
It's on Thiel.
No, call it on Lutz, and that's his second.
Well, we'll take a look. They could have had either choice. They did take Lutz. Larry Taylor probably would have wished they'd have gone the other way.
Well, Sean got into some foul trouble against McKinley, but he hung tough and did not foul out. He played a lot in the fourth period with 4. He's going to get a breather right here. Brent Bowen steps in, number 32. Talked about Brent in the pregame.
Garner's going to shoot a couple.
Steve, an outstanding foul shooter. 86% on the season, 4 out of 5 here at the Civic Center in district play. He is a sharpshooter. His first 2 points.
Here comes the pressure.
I bet you Perry won, what, about 6 minutes between buckets?
And that wasn't a bucket. You're exactly right. They've got 1 field goal.
Jackson may play for the last shot here. 45 seconds.
Why not?
Morris, a little trouble thanks to the pressure man-on-man by Young. This is Thiel. Herzig. Herzig drives in the lane, put it up!
I don't think the Perry player thought he was really going to take it all the way to the hole. He found himself right underneath and laid it in.
5 for Herzig. They gave Young the outside shot. He drives in the lane. No good. Miller has it. 14 seconds to go. Thiel on the move. Thiel takes it down the lane. Put it up off the glass. Thiel with 6 off the bench. Young for 3. End of 1. Jackson 14. Perry
4. Living, loving, building, growing, hometown proud America. Together working, caring, sharing, hometown proud America. IGA, hometown proud America. IGA.
driven Toyotas 500,000 miles. In 1982, I bought a Toyota 4x4, and 8 years later, I got over $3,100 back for it. That means I own that truck for about $100 a month. I use my truck in field work as an archaeologist. 155,000 miles, and all I replaced was an alternator. I just bought a 1990 4x4 Toyota pickup. It's easy to see why I love my new Toyota.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer now.
Perry, Chad Spurgeon with 2, Steve Gardner with 2. For the Polar Bears, David Thiel leads all scorers with 6 off the bench. As you look at the Timken Mercy Sports Medicine scoreboard, Mylan Hersig with 5, Sean Lutz with 3.
Well, you could have knocked me out with a 10-point Jackson lead after the first 8 minutes. Now we're going to find out if Perry can circle the wagons and get back into this. And they're going to have to be patient. You can't make up 10 points 1 or 2 trips down the floor. They got to just chip away. Perry's 1 of 9 from the field. That's 11%. It's right in your range.
Yeah, right.
Jackson, 5 out of 10, 50%. Plus, I don't think Perry's had but 1 offensive board. It's been 1 shot and down the floor.
Herzig, Thiel, Miller.
Perry's now in a man.
Bowen.
They've seen enough of that zone.
And Morris in there for Jackson. Malinowski, Young, Hare, Gardner, and Spurgeon for Perry. Miller couldn't get it to go. Maybe the first shot he's taken.
Kind of forced that one, too. They just looked like they were trying to get the first open man.
Young right at the foul line. Over to Malinowski. Young from the foul line. No good. Perry hitting the board strong. Hare got the step and puts it in.
Goal by Chip Hare.
Underneath with Bowen, and Hare will win that one every time.
Mismatch there. Bowen at 6'2", Hare at 6'10". Chip his first 2 points, averaging 22 per game. Morris in the lane, turns, shoots, and hits.
Boy, that's been a very kind hoop to the shooters for Jackson. They get up there, rattle around, and fall right through the hole. Got to give them credit. They're doing a heck of a job.
And as we said, the team with nothing to lose. Young, counting the foul.
Goal by Tremaine Young.
We'll pause, and when we return, Perry will try to cut the Jackson lead to 7.
The spring sale of sales continues at your friend at the factory, George Wakeham Ford. Wakeham and the Ford Motor Company have teamed up to bring you super savings for spring. Visit Wakeham Ford now and save. There are many customer cash assistance plans, as well as special Ford Motor Dealer incentive plans, which Wakeham Ford is passing along directly to their customers. There simply will never be a better time to buy a new Ford than right now. That's George Wakeham Ford, 4321 Lincoln Way East.
You love someone with a drinking or drug problem. So do I. I have been through the same helplessness, despair, and anger as you. You're not alone. There's help. There's Glen Bay. Glen Bay specializes in treating drinking or drug problems, but you have to take the first step for someone else and for yourself. Call Glen Bay.
Glen Bay of Massillon Community Hospital, 216-837-6897.
Young is a 47% free throw shooter on the season. Tremaine is now 6 out of 10 in the postseason. And just like that, Perry has cut the deficit to 7. And now the full court pressure. Thiel lost the handle. Jump ball, let's see on the alternate possession which way it'll go. Go to the Panthers, so you feel the momentum perhaps starting to swing. This is a real test for the Panthers, who have lost only 1 game all season. I bet you they haven't fallen this far behind in many games, if at all, and so far they're keeping their composure. Malinowski for 2, and he hits it.
Jackson packing their zone deep, and Perry taking the outside shot.
Herzig needs some help, finds it in the form of Thiel. Pressing man-to-man defense. Thiel got by Young and gets it over to Morris. Guarded closely by Malinowski.
Perry's really turned the defense up a notch. But since they jumped into the man, start the second quarter, it's a little different.
The Jackson lead is 5. Almost a steal by Spurgeon against Miller. Mylan Herzig, the quarterback of this basketball team, gets the instructions from Larry Taylor. Almost lost the handle, got it over to Miller way outside. He likes to play it down by the baseline. That's his best shot. Herzig against Young in the lane. Herzig forced it, couldn't get it to go. Spurgeon rebounds. Malinowski, cross court. Young in the lane. Ball knocked away by Bowen. Recovered by Spurgeon. Curry will reset it. Spurgeon for 3.
He's throwing that ball all around the zone. They're finding open shooters and a timeout for Jackson.
Jackson wants to talk it over in this period. Perry has stormed back. They've outscored Jackson 10-2. We'll be back right after this timeout.
After 5.5 years, I got $4,500 back on a car that had over 100,000 miles on it. I figured the cost of ownership for my Camry to have been about $75 a month based on its purchase price and its resale value. Total maintenance and 100,000 miles consisted of a battery and tires. My 1983 Camry literally made it possible for me to afford my new Camry. I feel it was very smart to buy a Toyota.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer today.
Hi, I'm Frank with Valley Systems. We're America's recognized leader in industrial cleaning.
Hello, I'm Dave Hansen of Valley Systems, and we work with business and industry to ensure a cleaner and safer world for our children and their children.
I'm Barb with Valley Systems, and our commitment to a cleaner environment shows in our dedication to the community.
Everywhere for spectacular savings on Nike athletic footwear during Nike Week at Value City. This week only, you can save an additional 20% off our everyday low prices on a great selection of Nike athletic footwear for the entire family. Save an additional 20% off on all men's Nike athletic shoes. Save an additional 20% off on all women's Nike athletic shoes. And save an additional 20% off on all Nike athletic shoes for kids. Now's the time to buy Nike athletic footwear at all Value City department stores.
A wild and woolly one at the Civic Center.
And you see Larry Wilson. What they're doing is they're reversing the ball, throwing it almost all the way across the top of the zone, finding open shooters, Malinowski, and then the three-pointer just a minute ago by Spurgeon.
Well, first 8 minutes, Jackson 14, Perry 4. The last 3 minutes, Perry 10, Jackson 2.
A game of surges, that's what basketball is anyway. Jackson had their surge early, and here come the Panthers. It's been a good ball game.
It's been a very, very entertaining tournament.
A Federal League war tonight.
Yeah, these two
well,
teams
that's another one you could have. That's another one you could have had.
Federal League team
will advance. Yeah. How'd you miss that one?
Girdle
picked up his dribble a little early that time. Almost paid for it.
Got it to Morris. Back to Tim. Morris looking inside. Miller double teamed. Has it. That's his spot on the floor, but it's an air ball, and Young comes away with it.
Again, he just forced that one up. A lot of defense in his face.
Perry can tie it with a 2 or take the lead with a tray. Spurgeon getting ready to check back in. It's Malinowski, Gardner, Young with it now, Hare and Petty. Young, no good, and with position, Sean Lutz for the rebound. Miller, Morris, Lutz, Ertl, and Herzig, the starting 5 out there for the Polar Bears. Approaching the midway mark, second period, 16 for Jackson, 14 for Perry.
Perry jumps back in the zone again now.
Really packing it in, and Jackson will reset, try to spread them out.
As we say that, they switch now into the man, so the cue cards are working.
Lutz, they like that play. Worked the other night, but not on that possession. Young with the steal, Malinowski with the ball.
They're just falling off of Young, daring him to take the shot.
Chip Hare. Young underneath. Rebound Miller.
Turczyk just walks it up the floor, looks to Larry Taylor for a little suggestion.
Perry has yet to lead in this game, but they have cut the deficit to 2 with 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, second period. Jackson likes to put Lutz out high, but Hare stays down underneath. Young with the steal. Lutz is back defensively. Young reverse no. Petty rebounds. Miller on him, and Miller draws the personal.
Young that time got a little bit ahead of himself. Got to the hoop too quick and threw a brick up there, but Petty was right there on the rebound. And on the put back up, he was fouled.
Number 12, Dave Steele, replaces Morris.
A lot of people have already gotten their copies of the Weekend Free Press. I guess we can mention we have a couple all-county performers that you and I, along with Dave Richards, selected out on the floor here tonight.
Shall I give the first team?
Why not?
David Grimm from Massillon, Chip Hare from Perry, Mike Hawkins from McKinley, Scott Miller from Jackson, Eric Snow from McKinley. And the next break we have, we'll go through the honorable mention list.
Thank Dave Richards for allowing us to be part of that, and we had a lot of fun with it. Every boys Division I team is represented on the squad. Jason Petty, 69% foul shooter for the year. His first trip to the line in this tournament. And he hits both shots, and we have a brand new ball game tied at 16, 3:20 to go, second period.
I hope they didn't put that turkey tips article directly beneath that for any reason.
Let's hope it's only coincidence.
That's right.
Again, the full court pressure. Mickey Saban is in. Gardner pressuring the inbounds pass. Bertle with it, guarded by Saban. Size mismatch. And Malinowski causes the turnover. Perry with the opportunity to take the lead for the first time as Chip Hare comes back in for Malinowski.
Saban takes him to Malinowski, then leaves him. And Ertl, just no place to go, drags the pivot foot. And Perry with a chance to take a lead for the first time.
Perry rotating 7 players in and out. Jackson's gone 6 deep as Gardner hits for 2. Steve has 4. First lead of the game for Perry. Thiel backs it out. The Perry pressure bothering the Polar Bears at this juncture. Lutz will take it. They gave him that one. No good. Smallest man on the floor. Saban gets the rebound. Kick it out to Gardner. Long pass to Petty. Three-point arc.
You just feel Perry just now picking it up, getting their feet. They feel Jackson's had their run.
Chip Hare guarded by Lutz. Lutz has 2 personal fouls, and traveling called on Chip.
Along with an elbow massage.
Tremaine Young back in. Mickey Saban sits down.
In addition to the walk, watch the elbow massage Lutz gets, and then he finally goes down. There's a left and a right. That's what happens when you're trying to guard a guy 6'10" with his hands extended.
Brian Malinowski checks back in with 2. Steve Gardner gets his first breather. Steve has 4. Pass into Lutz. Get it to Ertl across the timeline. 2:12. Thiel to tie it. No good. Petty got a hand on it, but it goes out of bounds. Good hustle by Perry, but they actually canceled each other out, and Jackson will have it back.
The 3 Perry players reaching in there all got a hand on it as it sailed out. And Jackson really has not had a quality shot up near that rim for the last 2 or 3 times down. They've had a couple balls off the side of the iron and one off the glass.
Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have the stats, courtesy of the dynamic duo tonight of Vic Steffen and Mike Simon. And Tom will be talking to some of the coaches we'll be seeing next week. Miller, ball stolen away by Petty. Hare goes down, no call, and Spurgeon will wait for the big man to get back in the play. Very physical here. Hare wants the outside shot.
Well, the big guy that time fell down coming up the floor, got there a little late, so they served up a 15-footer for him, and he drilled it.
Think he got a little fired up there? I think he did. And Jackson
turnover.
throws it away. And immediately Jeff Morris gets ready to check back in. So does Bowen and Gardner for Perry.
16-2 on this run.
We've seen 2 different ball games here.
Number 32,
I had to write run the wrong quarter.
Well, in the other two ball games, it was nip and tuck throughout. I don't think in either game the margin was any bigger than 6, and that was only brief for a brief period of time. But here it's been completely different. One team on a hot streak, then the other. Into Hare, double team, call the foul on Herzig.
I'm going to go on down, see what I can do.
Be interesting to see who Tom can corral here. Here you see the replay, and over the back, good call by the officials who've had this game in control. Tendency to let these young men play, and yours truly likes to see that. Chip Hare, first trip to the line tonight. Chip is a 66% foul shooter on the season. He has hit 25 of his last 30 free throws. 26 of 31. Chip has 5 points. In tournament play now, Chip has made 12 out of 14 charity tosses. Biggest lead for Perry, 5 points. Make it 6. Chip Hare with 6, all in this quarter. There you see some of the sold-out crowd here. There is not a seat to be found, but you have a very comfortable one right here on TV 67. Nice lob inside to Bowen.
Goal by Grant Bowen.
Great pass, and Bowen's in the book, and that breaks a long drought by the Jackson Polar Bears. Perry has outscored Jackson 18-4. After Jackson had outscored Perry 14-4 in the first period. We're approaching 30 seconds. Perry may be playing for the last shot. And they are, because now the coaches are up saying, back it up. Malinowski, Young, Hare, Spurgeon, and Gardner. Defending for Jackson, Miller, Bowen, Morris, Herzig, and Thiel. 10 seconds to go, second period. Perry lead is 4. Hare will try to make it 6. Couldn't get the roll. Out to Morris. 3, 2, 1. Morris puts it up. No good. That's the end of the second period. Perry 22, Jackson
18. Camelot Music presents Great White. From Great White, now at Camelot Music. Wacom Ford is in the middle of their biggest sale of the year, the Wacom Spring Sale on used cars and trucks featuring all makes, all models. These are Wacom clean, quality, reconditioned cars and trucks with extended service contracts. You simply won't find a finer selection of used cars and trucks to select from at lower prices or better financing anywhere. It's just another example of the Wacom tradition of value. That's Wacom Ford, 4321 Lincoln Way East.
There you see it on the Timken Mercy Sports Medicine scoreboard. Perry leads at 22-18. We will join you live next Tuesday night at 6:55 p.m. Lorraine Southview meets the highly regarded Warren Harding team. Wednesday night, 6:55, live from this location. We'll bring you the game between Cleveland St. Ignatius and the winner of tonight's Perry-Jackson game. TC is down on the floor, and he's got 2 of the coaches that we'll see next week.
We are at halftime here at the Civic Center. Joining me a couple of coaches who are going to play again next week, and they're down here on their night off, really scouting a little bit tonight. We have Bob LaRicca from Warren Harding to my right, and to my left, Brian Becker from St. Ignatius. And we'll ask Bob first, how did you get to where you're at, Bob, as far as the tournament foes, and what kind of ball is your team playing right now?
Well, we played 2 games at Stowe where we beat Kent Roosevelt and Ravenna, and then we went to Struthers and played Kent, or not Kent, but Fitch, and we won last night against Howland. So we've won 4 games in the tournament to get here.
You're playing pretty well?
Well, we're winning. And right now at this stage of the game, that's really all that counts.
Okay, and I know winning is where we could start with you. You went last night down to the last 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, we won in overtime against a real good John Marshall team. Point guard hit a jump shot in the key with about 2 seconds to go. It was a good win. It was a good W for us. Played 3 games in the North Royalton district. Beat a real good West Tech team. We beat a very solid and well-coached Medina team, and then last night against Marshall. The kids are playing pretty well. We take 1 game at a time. Just playing strong. We like to run, so.
Your first year replacing Larry Arthur, are you enjoying it?
Oh, tremendous. I'm having an awful lot of fun. I've been at Ignatius for 10 years and been with the program for a while, so I know what Ignatius basketball is all about, but we're having a lot of fun.
Okay. Bob, tell us a little bit about some of your players and who we might look for here coming on Tuesday night.
Well, first of all, we're a consolidation this year. There's no more Western Reserve or just Warren Harding. Now it's Warren Harding. So in the process of the consolidation, we have about a combination of a little bit from reserve and a little bit from Harding. We're basically a guard-oriented team. We rotate 4 guards at 3 positions, and they're our main people. Needless to say, our nickname's the Running Raiders, and we like to run. Fact of the matter is, I'd like to put the international rule in on the side if we can get it in at that time.
I don't think we'll let you do that over here. But one thing, you've got a chance to do a double this year at your school, both football and basketball.
The football team put a lot of pressure on me, I'll tell you. I got no voice left.
But you've got your hair.
That's good.
You're playing the winner of this game tonight. What's your thoughts?
Well, we've played Massillon Perry once already this year, and of course they're an excellent ball club. Young's real good. Chip Hare's he signed with Dayton. He's an excellent ball club, ball player. We'd like to push it up the floor against them. We think I'd like to put the real good tempo and like to run and press. And tonight I think Massillon Jackson's doing a nice job. I think they're executing their game plan very well. They're hanging tough with them. Wait to see what happens with those guys.
Well, we're going to do both of the games live next week. We're going to see these gentlemen, and they'll be a little bit, probably less relaxed than they are right now. Gentlemen, thanks for visiting with us.
Always relaxed. Yeah.
See you there,
Thanks,
Tom.
Tom.
Okay, back upstairs, Scotty. You take it into the half, bud.
Okay, thanks, gentlemen. We are at halftime with the score of Perry 22 and Jackson 18. We'll pause and be back with the statistical story of the first half right after this timeout.
I've owned 6 Toyotas. That's years of maintenance-free driving. These cars just keep going. 3 of these Toyotas were Celicas, and after the second, I really thought I'd never find a better car. Until I saw the 1990 Celica, a gorgeous car. Front-wheel drive keeps me going in any kind of weather. The 1990 Celica is the best automobile that I have ever owned. I absolutely love it.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer now.
You'll always look your best with the finest in men's name brand fashions from Value City. Part of a $2.2 million buyout. St. Andre tailored spring suits, not $250 to $275, only $99.99. $400,000 closeout. Men's London Town spring raincoats, not $125, only $59.99. And a $350,000 closeout. Great-looking Noble Manor linen sport coats, not $90, they're only $39.99. You'll always find the best for less at all Value City department stores.
The Slam. It's a Big Ten Sunday starting at 11:30 with the Randy Ayers Show. The Jams, followed at noon by the Indiana Hoosiers and the Illinois Fighting Illini. The Man. Coach Randy Ayers is taking the basketball Buckeyes to the top. Get the inside story. Join Coach Randy Ayers along with Barry Katz for the Randy Ayers Show. It's a Buckeye Big Ten Sunday starting at 11:30 on TV 67.
Well, courtesy of Vic Steffen and Mike Simon, you see that both teams are struggling a bit from the field, but you can't get any better at the foul line. Now, the difference in the game, though, has been the fact that Perry's been to the line 7 times and hit every shot. Jackson's only been there once and hit that shot, but the 6 points there, the difference is 4, so that's really a big difference. Both teams hitting 7 shots from the field. Rebounds, a bit of a wash, although with the big man Chip Hare, Perry with the slight edge. And turnovers, Perry really turning up the defensive pressure, which resulted on them having the edge on the plus side in terms of turnovers. Individually, for Perry, Chip Hare, 6 points, all in that second period. First period, Jackson outscores Perry 14-4. Second stanza, Perry outscores Jackson 18-4. You've really seen 2 different ball games. Good balanced scoring by Perry, in addition to 6 for Hare. Spurgeon with 5, Garner with 4, Young with 3, Petty with 2, Malinowski with 2. Saban played and did not score. For the Jackson Polar Bears, leading the way off the bench, David Thiel with 6, Mylan Hersig with 5, 3 for Sean Lutz, 2 each for Jeff Morris and Brent Bowen, Tim Ertl played and did not score. Perhaps most surprising, Scott Miller, the leading scorer for Jackson, at 18 per game, held scoreless in the first half. That's a credit to the Perry defense, especially in that second stanza. We will pause, and when we return, third period action. The score here at the Canton Memorial Civic Center, Perry 22 and Jackson 18.
The spring sale of sales continues at your friend at the factory, George Wacom Ford. Wacom and the Ford Motor Company have teamed up to bring you super savings for spring. Visit Wacom Ford now and save. There are many customer cash assistance plans, as well as special Ford Motor Dealer incentive plans, which Wacom Ford is passing along directly to their customers. There simply will never be a better time to buy a new Ford than right now. That's George Wacom Ford, 4321 Lincoln Way East.
It's the spring super sale at Value City. $1.2 million buyout. Toddlers and girls, famous maker Easter dresses, not $22 to $50. Toddlers $12.99, girls $14.99 and $16.99. $600,000 special purchase. Toddler suits and boys suits and duos, not $40 to $70. Toddlers $24.99, boys $24.99 and $29.99. Boys and girls, famous maker all-weather coats, not $55 to $85, only $29.99. Don't miss the spring super sale at all Value City department stores.
She's a beautiful woman with a horrifying secret in her past.
The truth? I don't even know what is the truth. After all these lies I have told.
He's her dashing lover, who won't let her forget it.
Why? There are so many things you don't understand.
Sophie's Choice, starring Meryl Streep.
Sunday at 7 on TV 67.
Welcome back as we look at the Jackson cheerleaders. Ready to go here. The Polar Bears will get the basketball. They trail it by 4. It's Herzig, Thiel, Lutz, Miller, and Morris out there for Jackson.
2 different games. First half was 2 different games.
Young, Garner, Petty, Hare, and Spurgeon, the starting 5. Nice fake by Thiel. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound by Petty. They'll call him for traveling.
Jackson will get another opportunity.
Underneath their own bucket. Morris got it in to Miller, over to Herzig. He takes the 3 and cans it.
A pro 3.
There's almost 3.5. Milan's second three-point shot of the night.
And, you know, they started the game with a three-pointer, so they duplicate their effort in half number 2.
The lead is down to 1. 22-21. Speaking of threes, there's Gardner. Best we've seen, but he had his pocket picked by Lutz.
Enjoyed talking to the 2 coaches, but they're awfully guarded in their comments.
Yeah, they don't want to tip
No, they
their
sure
hands.
don't. They're good poker players. You got to appreciate a guy like Brian, though. He's been an assistant. He's been at Ignatius for 10 years and gets his opportunity. He's doing very well.
After Larry Arthur had a very successful stint. In fact, he brought the St. Ignatius Wildcats, as Hare puts it, into this tournament a year ago.
Larry never liked to see us, though. We were kind of a jinx to him.
Although last year they beat Strongsville
Right.
in our first live broadcast before losing to McKinley. And remember these 2 names, Steve Eritzman and Joe Ray. Standouts a year ago, and they're back for St. Ignatius. Inside, counting a foul.
Spurgeon.
Sean Lutz will have a second opportunity at a traditional three-point play.
Spurgeon goes strong. He never does get set. Lutz was on the move by the time he tried to establish position. That is his second.
Malinowski in. Young sits down. Lutz has 2 fouls for Jackson. Spurgeon with 2 for Perry. Sean 2 for 2 from the line. 6 points in the book. And it's a brand new ball game. Once again, tied at 24. Lob pass for Garner. Ooh, and he goes up.
Came down on the back
hard.
of Hersick. Hit the floor hard. There'll be a foul on Hersick. Hersick trying to establish position. There he is, 44. You're going to see Garner come in, look for the alley-oop. I'm not sure that Hersick knew there was anybody behind him. He was just trying to get rebound position.
Exactly. Second foul on Hersick. Spurgeon for three.
In, out, and in again. That's what, 6? Because that was in there twice.
By Chad Spurgeon.
Chad's second three-point bucket of the game. He's now the game's leading scorer with 8.
It's one of the weapons they have. You scratch and claw to come back and tie him up and get ahead a little bit, and then he hits you with a 3.
Hersick double team, puts it up, puts it in.
Roller ball.
Hersick now the game's leading scorer with 10. The Perry lead is 1. Gardner for 3. Malinowski, rebound, no. Hare, rebound, good off the glass.
Give you some idea of his strength. He cleared out 2 Jackson players while setting up for the shot. Put it right in off the glass. The Timken Mercy Sports Medicine scoreboard shows it 29-26.
10 points now for Chip Hare. Both teams heating it up offensively now. It's the best sequence offensively for both teams.
This week.
Exactly. Nice move by Theo. Couldn't get to go. Good offensive rebound by Lutz. And Hare intimidated that shot.
Double
Chip Hare
dribble.
called for double dribble there.
Big guy tried to take it out by himself and was pinned against the sideline. I'm sure they'd rather have someone else bring the ball up.
Young is back in. Tremaine has 3. Petty sits down. He has 2. 5 minutes to go, third period. Jackson trails by 3. Hersick got a pick from Miller. Young forced his way through that pick. Look at Larry Wilson. Level of concentration right there. You saw it on his face. Hare all over Lutz. 3 for Thiel.
Just like that, we're tied up at 29. Well, in your face.
This is the best shooting of the tournament right here. Both teams coming out hot from the locker room.
It's like someone took the lid off the buckets for the first time this week.
Nice ball movement. Garner gets it over to Hare. 3-point arc. Try to force it inside. Lutz saw that one coming.
A little bit of a telegraph job and a deflection and a turnover for the Polar Bears.
Midway through the third period, we're tied at 29. What a game for David Thiel. He has 9 off the bench.
Trying to spread the Perry defense. They did this successfully the other night to McKinley. Got a couple of real easy layups.
Morris with it, guarded by Young.
Of course, there's no shot clock in high school, so they can take all the time they want.
Tough lob inside.
Tough lob when you're trying to get it over Hare.
Jackson substitution number 32.
Lutz will sit down, and Bowen checks in. Sean has 6. Brent with 2. Jason Petty will check back in for Perry. And Chip Hare will get a breather. So both of the big men get a breather here.
Chess game continues with the coaches.
Morris, bounce pass inside to Miller.
Nice pass by Morris. He drew the defense to him, then in a nice bounce pass.
Scott Miller's in the scorebook for the first time. If he gets hot here, it could be a real advantage for Jackson. Garner, guarded by Thiel. This is Malinowski. Hersick on him. Young gets the basketball. Inside to Petty. Nice pass, but couldn't get it to go. Young rebounds off. No good, Petty. And let's see who they're going to call it on.
They're going to get it on...
it's going to be against Petty. Petty and Hersick go up for the rebound.
Young with a point-blank effort there, and now on the rebound over the back. And they've got Petty.
The officials have really done a solid job here tonight.
They're excellent. Let's get them who they are again. Dan Fauser from Akron and Keith Walker from Cuyahoga Falls.
That's 2 personals on Petty, and quickly Chip Hare checks back in.
Chip Hare replaces Spurgeon.
Hare is back in with 10. Spurgeon sits down with 8.
Well, it looks like in this tournament, if you can score 50 points, you're in pretty good shape. 31-29 here, and we're almost through 3.
Look at the Perry bench there, the back of Chad Spurgeon, number 22.
In fact, the biggest margin we've had all week is 44, the biggest total.
Field for 3!
And Jackson on a run. Larry Wilson says, let's circle him up, boys.
Timeout on the floor, 2:27 to go. Jackson back out on top by 5. What a game, ebb and flow. Jackson first quarter 14-4. Second quarter, Perry outscores the Polar Bears 18-4. Now, Jackson's on a 16-7 run. Now Larry Taylor talking to the troops to our left.
He is not ordering a pizza, I can tell you that right now, or telling them where we're going to eat after the game. Both of these guys barking instructions, working hard.
Can't say enough about the job both these coaches have done. Jackson off to the slow start as all the football players try to make the transition to basketball. They hung tough. They're peaking at just the right time. And anytime you play a tough federally competitive season, then play a good, strong, out-of-conference schedule, and you only lose once the entire year, that says a lot for Perry. Petty inside, got stripped. See who the call's against.
Well, the guy saying not me is Lutz.
It is Lutz, and that's his 3rd.
Number 50 right there's the reach-in. Got a lot of ball. Look at the surprised look on his face.
First player in either team to pick up 3 personal fouls. Gardner will sit down. Steve has 4 in the ball game. Spurgeon is back in.
See it
with 8.
Larry Taylor is going to leave Lutz in.
Good inbounds play. Counted a foul. Jason Petty goes to the line.
Didn't get him out. 4 fouls now on Lutz. I'm not so sure Larry really realized that that was 3 right before that.
Now Sean will have to set out at least the last 2:14 of this period. That's a big loss for the Polar Bears.
So a couple of reach-in fouls, and if you're going to get fouls, you'd rather get your money's worth, and I'm sure Larry Taylor will tell Mr. Lutz that don't let him make the 3-point opportunity.
Jason now 3 for 3 from the line in this game. 5 points in the contest.
5 seconds. They had this trouble the other night.
Turns out to be a heck of a timeout for Larry Wilson.
It seemed like the other night, every time Jackson jumped to a little lead, they flattened out. We've seen it again tonight.
That was a heck of a timeout for Perry. Now Jackson wants to talk things over. 2:14 to go in the period.
I've driven Toyotas 500,000 miles. In 1982, I bought a Toyota 4x4, and 8 years later, I got over $3,100 back for it. That means I own that truck for about $100 a month. I use my truck in field work as an archaeologist. 155,000 miles, and all I replaced was an alternator. I just bought a 1990 4x4 Toyota pickup. It's easy to see why I love my new Toyota.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer now.
Living, loving, building, growing, hometown proud America. Together working, caring, sharing, hometown proud America. IGA, hometown proud America. IGA, hometown proud America. IGA.
Hello, I'm Chris Valentine with Valley Systems. We're working today for a cleaner tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Dan Batchick of Valley Systems.
Hi, I'm Ben Boring of Valley Systems.
Hello, I'm Patty of Valley Systems.
Hi, I'm Jim with Valley Systems.
Hi, I'm Judith with Valley Systems.
I'm Ron Crone with Valley Systems.
I'm Pat of Valley Systems.
Hello, I'm Mary Wilder of Valley Systems.
Hello, I'm Judy of Valley Systems.
I'm Dan Valentine of Valley Systems, and I'm proud to be part of a winning team.
Larry Taylor down there working on the referees a little bit. I think he really thought that at least one, if not both of those fouls on Lutz were a little bit of the pity-pat variety. And now he's got his center sitting next to him, and that's not a good sign for the Polar Bears.
Well, Perry scored the last 4 after falling behind.
It's just kind of like who gets the last run of the game probably going to be the winner. Because they've not been 2- and 3-point runs. They've been big ones.
The attendance at tonight's game, 4,687.
4,687.
Yeah. And one of them is not the fire marshal, probably, huh? I don't know what it holds, but it's full.
Great crowd here. Chip Hare inside. And they'll call a foul on Bowen. And there's just no way that Brent Bowen's going to be able to stay with Hare. We talked about an 8-inch height disadvantage there.
Advantage Hare every time.
Again, Larry Taylor with his big man, 6'6" Sean Lutz on the bench with 4 personals. Doesn't have too many alternatives.
There's a walk. Hare just juggled at that time. Larry Taylor up exhorting his troops. Need to get the ball in.
This is Miller, gets it back to Herzig. Herzig guarded by Hare in this sequence. They try the trap. Herzig needs some help. Knocked away from Morris. Herzig gets it back. Again, needs some help. Finds in the form of Morris. Cuts across the lane. Got it to Thiel. Puts it up. Rim no. Volleyball by Bowen. Back to Morris. Thiel for 3. Off the side of the iron. He's hit 2 of those tonight.
Got 2 good opportunities. Couldn't cash them, but they still lead 34-32 over the Perry Panthers.
Garner with it. Inside baseline, Young.
Nice block. Getting physical.
Larry Taylor shouting out instructions to the Polar Bears. I think he feels they're forcing it a little bit in this sequence. Bowen off the glass. No, Hare with the rebound.
That one rolled all the way around, took a look in and fell off. Unlucky.
I think Larry, as I look at his reaction, is saying, hey, we're forcing it too much. We're not patient enough here.
And we've got the lead. You're right. I think there's, conversely, Larry Wilson saying, let's go, fellas. Take it in and score.
Yep, you got to take advantage of the opportunities. Garner is guarded by Thiel. Petty picked up by Herzig.
Suffice it to say, Larry's working hard, huh?
Yeah.
Larry's
on both benches.
Yes.
And another turnover. Malinowski and Schmidt in. Thiel and Hare sit down.
There you see the shuffle on the takeoff, first step. There you see Saban.
Wholesale substitution, so let's set the lineups. Morris and Herzig, along with Schmidt, Miller, and Bowen for Jackson. Malinowski, Young, Petty, Saban, and Spurgeon for the Panthers. 20 seconds to go.
They're just trying to give some of their starters a little rest here in the waning seconds of the third.
And just like that, Perry gets the ball. Their 3-point specialist, Garner, comes back in.
Exactly. He'd have sat on the bench if Jackson would have taken the last shot, but now they can go on offense, so he's got an offensive substitution in Garner, who can hit it from anywhere.
Going offense-defense with Steve and Mickey Saban. 10 seconds to go. Perry with the basketball, trailing by 2. Young in the lane, takes it to the hole. No, rebound Petty, and a foul.
Miller, I believe. 5-2. Pretty similar foul to what Lutz just had a little while ago. A reach in right here as the ball goes back up. Going to put Petty at the line for 2. 4 seconds remaining. Perry can tie this one up.
Jason 3 for 3 in the game. He did not shoot in the victory over Massillon from the foul line.
If he makes this one, Jackson will get the Hail Mary shot at the Hail Mary bucket.
Jason, 69% foul shooter for the season. And it's intercepted by Garner. Blocked by Herzig. Up, no good by Spurgeon. At the end of 3 periods, we are tied at 34.
Get ready for Easter with the best in ladies' name brand fashions. It's the Spring Super Sale at Value City. Part of a $500,000 closeout. A fabulous collection of ladies' Famous Maker 1- and 2-piece dresses. Not $104 to $130. Your choice $39.99. $1.6 million buyout. Missy and Women's Famous Maker Spring Separates. Not $8 to $12. Only $3.99 and $4.99. Ladies' Famous Maker 2-piece line suits. Not $120. Only $59.99. Don't miss the Spring Super Sale at all Value City department stores.
The Spring Sale of Sales continues at your friend at the factory, George Wacom Ford. Wacom and the Ford Motor Company have teamed up to bring you super savings for spring. Visit Wacom Ford now and save. There are many customer cash assistance plans, as well as special Ford Motor Dealer incentive plans, which Wacom Ford is passing along directly to their customers. There simply will never be a better time to buy a new Ford than right now. That's George Wacom Ford, 4321 Lincoln Way East.
The Jackson inbound pass, they're looking for an open man. All of a sudden, Garner steps right in. Nice defense right here. Herzig blocks it. Spurgeon with the rebound as the horn blows and just not able to get it in. So a real good opportunity for Perry to take the lead there. Goes by the boards, and just as we had the other night, an 8-minute ball game as we're tied 34 all.
True to the script. End of 1, it was Jackson 14-4. Perry goes on an 18-4 run, second quarter, Toledo 22-18 at the half. Third quarter pretty balanced. Jackson outscores Perry 16-12 to tie things up at 34. Fans of both schools up on their feet. Interesting stat, TC. Both teams perfect from the foul line. The difference, Perry is 10 out of 10. Jackson is 2 out of 2. Young inside. No good. Hare puts it back in.
Goal by Chip Hare.
Chip Hare with a dozen. Ball stolen by Gardner. Nice feed to Young. No, but he drew the foul on Herzig. And that will be Milan's third.
Perry really coming out in the fourth quarter and cranking up the D. This pass is stolen. A nice feed to Young. He's going to put up the layup. Fouled. Ball doesn't go in, so he'll shoot a pair.
Young 1 for 1 today, 6 out of 10 in the tournament, 47% foul shooter on the season.
You know, Jackson has at least one more run in them. They sure are a game ball club. They did this last year when tournament time came.
Tournament seemed to bring out the best in the Polar Bears, but the Panthers showing why they were the number 2 seed. Quickly, a 4-point lead. Young steals it. Morris gets it back. Jackson needs to regroup. Herzig needs some help. Finds in the former Bowen. Can they get it across the timeline? They do barely to Thiel. Get it inside to Miller.
Found the only man that wasn't protected. Perry doing a lot of double team and trapping. Left Miller alone.
Malinowski, Spurgeon, Gardner, Young, and Hare in there for the Panthers.
Jackson in the zone.
Young, the lob to Hare.
Oh, boy, the alley-oop was perfect. Herzig tried to stand his ground.
Hare now with 14, leading scorer in the game. Again, Jackson trouble on the inbounds.
5 seconds. Oh, they're going to call it out of bounds off of Spurgeon.
Now they switch, and the big man Hare will pressure Herzig.
Herzig needs to get this ball in.
Out it to Morris. Now the double team trap, and Morris breaks it. Now we got a 2-on-1 the other way. Bowen feed it inside to Miller. Wasn't ready for it. And on the turnover, Perry has it with the basketball and a 4-point lead. 6:46 remains.
Can't hold Lutz out anymore. Here he comes. Bowen gets it inside here now. Miller's got Malinowski all over his back, and the ball just hits his chest and pops out of bounds.
Here's a switch. Lutz is in, so Hare sits down. Usually, both coaches are taking the big men in and out at the same time. Perry wants to spread it out. They've got Malinowski out there with Spurgeon, who has the ball right now, and Garner. Underneath, it's Young and Petty.
They got Jackson out of that zone, or trying to get him out of that zone. They're up 4.
Thiel, Herzig, Morris, Miller, and Lutz in there for Jackson, and Sean has 4 personals. But as we mentioned, Sean played most of the 4th period with 4 personals against McKinley the other night and stayed in the ballgame. Perry 40, Jackson 36, and the rest was brief for Chip Hare.
Just continuing to run picks off that man-to-man defense with their man-to-man offense.
Larry Wilson says keep the flow going. And Garner gets it inside Spurgeon. Nice feed to cutting Malinowski, but a block by Herzig.
Herzig from behind.
Larry Wilson wanted the foul over the back, didn't get it. Perry fans respond as you hear. Herzig. Boy, they're just draped. Oh, Herzig takes the 3. They were draped all over Miller on the weak side. Nice rebound by Morris. Back out to Thiel. 5:22 to play. Lob inside Lutz. Put it up. Nobody drew the foul.
That'll be on Petty.
And we'll be back with some foul shots right after this.
We just bought this recliner from one of our leading competitors. On sale for $459. Now look at this famous custom-crafted trailer recliner from Value City Furniture. It's an unbeatable value for only $298. The choice is yours. $459 or $298. And this is just one example of the thousands of store-wide furniture values waiting for you today at guaranteed lowest prices. Get the value! Only at Value City Furniture.
My dad said to me my first car should be a Toyota. It turned out to be the right choice. In 1983, my Toyota cost me about $6,700. Trade-in value, I got $2,500, which averages to about $50 a month. I picked out a 1990 Toyota Corolla. It just felt right when I got in it. It's a great car. Why would I want anything else?
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer now.
Larry Taylor, the boss man of the Polar Bears. Very intense during the game, very affable, nice man off the court, but a competitor. As you said, the all-time winningest coach.
That's right.
In Polar Bear land.
90 career victories at Jackson. Lutz 2 for 2 from the line, 6 in the game. He'll try to split the pair. And bring, more importantly, his team to within 3. 3rd foul on Jason Petty. This young man, Lutz, the only player with 4 personal fouls. Too hard this time, rebound by Petty. So Perry with the basketball in the 4-point lead, approaching the 5-minute mark, 4th period. Looking inside to Hare, Lutz on him. Remember the 4 personals. He has to let Hare take the shot, but he misses it, and Herzig another board.
They went right after Lutz that time, trying to get him to commit that 5th personal foul, but stayed away. They need a bucket here.
They're just draping all over Miller, trying to shut down the Jackson's leading scorer. There's an obvious foul on Young.
Young came sailing out in the air, and Herzig with a good head fake gets Young to sail right into him.
Perry, substitution number 22, Chad Spurgeon.
Second foul on Tremaine. Malinowski gets a breather. Bryan with 2 points.
Only the 4th foul, so we ball out of bounds. They'll shoot, both teams now will shoot the bonus the rest of the way. Larry Wilson, the head man at Perry High School there. Another good guy.
Like his counterpart, very affable off the court and very serious on it. Approaching 4.5 minutes. The signal from Herzig as he pulls on his jersey. Good hustle by Chip Hare. Ends up in the first row seat.
Let's see, at section 14. There's a seat there available, but...
Well, listen, even if I was sitting in that seat and Chip came my way, I'd say, a seat, sir?
and my popcorn.
Yes.
And my Coke.
My Coke, right? What a fine young man, though, as we mentioned in the pregame. You got some outstanding young men. And more importantly, off the court versus on the court.
And Hare going to the University of Dayton, an early signee this year. I think that's a smart move if you know where you want to go.
The 3 is up by Herzig, a long 3. This time he misses. He's hit a couple earlier in the game. That would have brought the Polar Bears to within 1, but instead, Spurgeon with the basketball. Midway now, exactly 4 minutes left to be played in this ball game. 4-point lead for Perry, and Hare with a turnover.
That's going to be all. Oh. I thought it was a foul.
No, McCall's traveling.
He headed for the bench.
Ball was traveling. Now Miller got the pick he needed.
And the bucket they needed. 40-38. Polar Bears are just hanging right there. Miller just can't put them away.
Miller's averaging 18. He's got 6. They're really keying on number 52. Oh, Lutz.
That was off of Spurgeon. A nice call by the referee.
Look at Lutz playing defense with those 4 personals.
That was an excellent call. Timeout, Perry.
3:28 remaining to be played. It's still anybody's ball game. For the Perry Panthers, Chip Hare leads the way with 14. Jason Petty has 7. Chad Spurgeon has 8. Steve Garner with 4. Tremaine Young with 5. Brian Malinowski 2. For Jackson, David Thiel off the bench with 10. Brent Bowen with 2. Jeff Morris with 2. Sean Lutz with 6. Mylan Herzig with 10. And Scott Miller with 6. I think just the fans and the applause tells the tale.
Very vocal group.
Sellout crowd, 4,687. A look at the 2 coaches there.
Jackson will get a chance to tie this one up.
Herzig with the basketball. Gets it to Miller, who comes outside now. Lutz at the foul line. He's very comfortable there and a good passer from that location, as we found out the other night.
Thought about taking the jumper, too.
Thiel, he's canned a couple of 3s. Herzig has as well. And Miller has that capability. That's the pass that Lutz likes to make. Now he bounces it off the Perry player, so Jackson will keep it. 2:54 remain to be played.
Takes that long step and then throws the skip pass. That time it went off one of the Perry Panthers' feet and out of bounds. Jackson will inbound.
Morris, Gardner all over him. Herzig, Young with the defensive assignment. Well, Jackson spreading it out. Not to stall, but just to open things up inside. Miller to Thiel. Thiel for 3. That was short. Nice save by Morris, but Young comes away with it. And the foul on Morris.
It's almost like Morris wanted to foul Young if he was going to foul somebody.
Well, statistically speaking, that's the right play because Tremaine is shooting 47% from the line. Everybody else is in the 65 to up to Garner at 88%.
They'll shoot 1 plus the bonus, and we'll see if that was the right play or not here.
And it was only Morris's first personal foul. He may have done that at least semi-intentionally.
There's a lane violation, so all that work didn't pay off because Miller stepped into the lane. So they had it figured right, then they made an error. Now the pressure goes off Young a little bit.
Well, Tremaine is 3 for 3 in this game. In and out. So Jackson comes down. A 2 will tie it up. They can take the lead with a tray. And a timeout. Jackson. 2:10 left to be played here, at least in regulation.
After 5.5 years, I got $4,500 back on a car that had over 100,000 miles on it. I figured the cost of ownership for my Camry to have been about $75 a month based on its purchase price and its resale value. Total maintenance and 100,000 miles consisted of a battery and tires. My 1983 Camry literally made it possible for me to afford my new Camry. I feel I was very smart to buy a Toyota.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer today. Camelot Music presents Great White. Hood from Great White, now at Camelot Music.
Value City does it again. 2 great buyouts for spring. A $4.2 million buyout from America's #1 name in luggage, Samsonite. Direct from the factory, over 20,000 pieces at savings of 60 to 70% off. Featuring the world's greatest garment bag, not $185, only $59.99. Plus the world's greatest carry-on, not $175, only $49.99. $1.7 million buyout. A big selection of famous maker tennis rackets like these, not $90 to $200, only $19.99. Hurry in while quantities last at all Value City department stores.
Well, let's see. My broadcast partner didn't respond there. I said 2:10 to go in regulation. We had one game go into overtime. The other decided at the buzzer.
That's right.
And perhaps, and only appropriately so, that this game goes right down to the end.
Well, not until I get down there, because I've got to be down under the bucket. I'll be leaving in about 30 seconds. Then things will tighten up. If I leave here, you get to always call the winning shot as the horn goes off.
One of these days, though, that call may be my last for a while. The voice may just blow out. Jason Petty back in for Harry. Steve Garner with the breather. So you've got Young, Malinowski, Spurgeon, Hare, and Petty. For Jackson, Thiel, and Herzig in the backcourt. Up front, Morris, Lutz, and Miller. Jackson trails by 2. Ball off the foot. Good defense by Malinowski, but good composure by Thiel to get it back. A little help from Lutz. Under 2 minutes remain to be played. Jackson with the basketball, trailing by 2, 40-38.
Going against the stickiest of man-to-man pressure right now by the Perry Panthers.
The defense by both teams outstanding tonight, as it's been throughout the tournament. Herzig, double team for a moment, back to Lutz. Now to Thiel. Approaching a minute and a half remaining to be played. Every possession now very, very important. Miller, they gave him the shot. Hold everything. Shot didn't go.
Foul on Hare as he flattened Herzig coming through the screen. They set Miller up with that jumper, and Hare flattened the man protecting him. Watch 54 right there. He's going to just go right through the screen. Just get out of here. Bucket doesn't go. They give awards, though, tonight after this, don't they? For the
right, so you've got some time.
Yeah, that's right.
And what you may be able to do is kind of choreographic to the point where maybe we can grab both coaches. There is no loser here tonight in my book, not the way these two teams have played throughout the tournament. So maybe after the first presentation, you can grab the one coach, second presentation, second coach.
See if I can do a little magic. Or come up with the empty hat.
Herzig very coolly and calmly buries his first 2
and we're all tied up. What was the score at the end of 3?
End of 3, tied, 34.
So we've been 6-6 here in the 4th.
The offense picking up in the 3rd period. Here in the 4th period, defense. Hare guarded by Lutz. 1:12 remain to be played. Garner with it. Steve Garner between the legs dribble, guarded by Thiel. Inside to the big man. Lutz with the 4 personal fouls, and Lutz steals the basketball. Get it to Herzig.
Play. 4 fouls. He reaches right into the middle of the belt and takes the ball away.
Larry Taylor says, spread the floor, men. That's been our bread and butter here. Herzig right down the lane. Draws the foul. It's against Petty.
Well, they just spread it. He took it right down Broadway. Petty didn't get set. Stepped in and took it. Thought he was going to take a charge. Got a block. Oh, baby. Jackson, you might have thought was going to set up, spread it, and take the last shot. They spread it, then they went right down the middle. And
Petty with his 4th personal.
And what does he shoot from the line there, partner?
Well, for the year, 60%. 2 for 2 in this game. 6 out of 12 in the tournament. And we mentioned how much more difficult it is to shoot foul shots here because of the depth perception. Didn't bother Milan at all. Hersig going for his 14th point. More importantly, from the team perspective, a 2-point Jackson lead.
Well, those are two clean ones, too. You talk about pressure.
Calm, cool, and collected. The 4-point student and the outstanding football and basketball performer, Mylan Hersig. Timeout for Perry. 36 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here. 42 for Jackson, 40 for Perry. This one has lived up to its billing and then some.
Well, you got to think for a second. We've played almost 3 games, and we've got 4 points separating 6 teams.
Exactly. Talk about being tournament tested tough.
I'll tell you what, nobody would have believed at the beginning of the week that 50 points would have won all the games.
That's exactly.
Take 50 and stay home. There's Larry Wilson. Assistants on the left and the right side, all working hard.
Presented to both teams immediately following the game. We would really appreciate your cooperation in not running onto the floor.
Speaking of thrills,
more or less.
Right after this game, join the Son of Ghoul with the movie Company of Wolves with Angela Lansbury. Expect the unexpected on Thriller Theater with the Son of Ghoul tonight at a special time following this TV 67 sports special.
And we tried to make it as late as we can. We could, and if we tie it up, we're going to keep them off some more.
Tom Canal issuing the personal challenge to the Son of Ghoul.
Come out and fight.
36 seconds to play. Perry with the basketball, trails by 2. Gardner needs some help, finds it. Malinowski! What a clutch performer. You saw what he did in the district semis at the outset. We're down to 15 seconds. Looks like Jackson will take the last shot. Hersig looking at Larry Taylor. Wants the timeout. 12 seconds remain. Boy, Brian Malinowski, what a money player.
Probably start any place. He's the best 6-man probably any, that we've seen. Over the years, we've seen some really good bench strength, but this guy is a super player.
Let me tell you a stat on Brian Malinowski that as I was studying them last night, he's their 6th man, so he doesn't get the minutes perhaps as a lot of other players, although it looks like Larry divides it equally. He's the number 2 rebounder on the team behind Chip Harris.
The only thing he doesn't do is get introduced.
And he's out there in crunch time. Malinowski, Petty, Young, Spurgeon, and Hare.
Well, I tell you what, Jackson has made a believer out of me. I'm going to have a nice, large helping of Crow as soon as this is over.
Lutz, Miller, Morris, Hersig, and Thiel for Jackson. 12 seconds to play, tied at 42. Canton District title on the line with a ticket to the regionals next week.
Well, they don't want to take this too soon. They don't want Perry with
4, 3, 2, Hersig short. We've got overtime.
I knew I shouldn't go down there. I guessed right this time.
And what did I say with 2.5 minutes to go?
2 out of 3, not bad.
Isn't it only appropriate that this game does go to overtime?
Not real good execution by the Polar Bears. I'm sure they wanted a better shot than that. They were forced outside. Hersig put up about a 20-footer.
I'll give the Perry defense a
Oh,
credit,
yeah.
too. Well, I talked about at the outset how perhaps occasionally our execution may be a little flawed like the players, but you can tell how excited we are, and that's a reflection of the effort down on the court there.
I have to restrain my partner, get a seatbelt on him up here. He's going to go right out.
That could be. Oh, what a district this has been. And there it is, a 3-minute overtime period.
Standing O from both sides, both corners.
And why not?
There hasn't been anybody all week that wanted their money back.
Let's see who's going to jump it here. Looks like Miller and Hare. Keep in mind, Lutz has 4 fouls and Petty has 4 fouls. The one key player for each team. in foul difficulty. 3-minute overtime period, tied at 42. Hersick gets it. Good hustle by guess who? Sean Lutz.
Great save.
Things that young man does that you never see in the scorebook.
Well, he's got like a cat with 9 lives. Until he gets 4 fouls, they see everything. After 4, he really becomes protective.
Hersick drives, forces it up, no good, and rebound, and down they go. Foul on Lutz. He is just fouled out of the game.
Fighting for that rebound. Spurgeon brought it down where Lutz had a shot at it. You're going to take a look at Lutz, or Spurgeon's going to bring it down right there, and Lutz is going to reach in. He's had success picking pockets tonight, but this time they just go down in a heap, and that's number 5.
So Brent Bowen will have to go back in there and watch Perry pound it into the big man now.
And Chip Perry goes over and gives a handshake to Lutz.
Another reflection of the type of young man Chip Perry is.
Well, he played very, very well and very, very long with 4 fouls. He came back into the game at the 6:52 mark of the 4th quarter. He doesn't want to leave.
Yeah,
look at him.
Larry Taylor will use all the time. Yep.
I give him a hand myself.
Yep. Heck of an effort. Larry Taylor,
nice job, good hustle.
So do the Jackson teammates. Look at Steve Gardner coming over. Congratulations. Oh, this is great.
But one thing that the Perry Panthers knew was going to be a big loss as soon as that foul was called.
Hare, big rebound.
And Lutz's presence is missed right away.
Chip Hare takes advantage of it. Jackson with the ball, trailing by 2, 2:20 to go in OT. Bowen guarded by Petty. Hersick, 3-point line, guarded by Malinowski. Miller.
Right back at you. Played a minute out of the 3, and we're back tied again at 44.
Scott Miller with 8. Garner cut off by Thiel baseline, back out to Spurgeon and over to Malinowski. Now Miller has the big man Hare, and Bowen is guarding Petty. A little closer in a size matchup.
And they're shoving a bit too.
Always watching for the big man. Perry showing good patience. 1:30 to go in overtime, tied at 44. Every possession so important. Trying to work off a Petty screen. Now over to Malinowski. 1:10 in the first overtime. Gardner drives. Nice feed off to Petty.
Used 57 seconds that time to get their shot.
Jason Petty with 9. A good assist for Steve Gardner. Now the ball is loose. Good call by the officials.
Good hustle over there by Garner. Went off his foot, though, and just trickled ever so slowly over the line.
Steve will get a chance to catch his breath. Young is in. 57 seconds to go in overtime. Jackson with the ball, trailing by 2. Almost stolen by Malinowski. Thiel is down, and they call him for a turnover, and Thiel is hurt.
Turned his ankle just as he came down with the basketball. And that's one of their shooters. They've lost their center. Now they may lose their shooter as the right ankle was twisted. Trying to walk it off. That's a tough thing to walk off.
He doesn't want to come out. He may have to, though. He may have to. I think even he says, I can't go.
He tried it.
Jackson substitution number 24. Tim Ertl replaces.
Teammates go out and help him off.
Ertl comes in. What a game that Thiel has played.
What a bad break, too, for the Polar Bears.
Because as you say, one of their best perimeter shooters is out of there. So Perry, 2-point lead, 45 seconds to go. 45 seconds away from a Canton District title. And there's the foul. Hersig fouls Spurgeon. That's the fourth foul on Milan Hersig.
Carry substitution number 20, Tremaine Young, replaces Garner.
I'm going to take a look at Thiel, and he is a hurting puppy right now. If anybody's played sports out there, they know what that feels like. It's on fire.
Spurgeon, a 76% foul shooter, 0 for 1 in tonight's game. Not anymore. The lead is 3, 37 seconds to go, so you can imagine how big this free toss is right here.
Calmly done.
Nothing but net. 10 points for Spurgeon, none bigger than those two foul shots. 4-point lead for the Panthers. Spurgeon guarding Morris, and Jackson wants a timeout. 28 seconds to play. Polar Bears with the ball, trailing by 4. My broadcast partner heading downstairs for post-game activities, which will include trophy presentations to both schools. And we will at least offer the opportunity for both coaches to give their comments and perspective on this one. There you see it, David Thiel, a badly twisted right ankle is what we saw from up here.
We would really appreciate your cooperation. It's not coming on to
and again, Bill Heichel, the public address announcer, asking the fans to stay off the floor until after the trophy presentation. 28 seconds to play. 48 for Perry, 44 for Jackson. We've had 3 ball games here in the district tournament at the Civic Center. The first one, Perry in overtime by a point over Maslin. The second game at the buzzer, Jackson by a point over McKinley. And this game into overtime for the district title. You couldn't ask for anything more. And I'll say it again, it's more than just a cliche. There are no losers out on this court. 2 winning teams, 2 winning programs showing their skills here. Hersig had the ball blocked by Young. They call a foul on Young. That was a tough call. Young thought he got all ball. Steve Gardner in. Tremaine Young sits down. 3rd foul on Young. Hersig, 2 key foul shots to help send the game into overtime. Milan 4 for 4 from the line. 14 points. Leading scorer in the game for Jackson. 19 seconds to play, and the Perry lead has been cut to 3. Milan playing with 4 personal fouls. Sean Lutz is fouled out of this game. David Thiel is out with an ankle sprain. Missed the second. Big rebound in there, and they'll call a jump ball. Now Perry will get the basketball. On the alternate possession, now Chad Spurgeon is hurt, holding the
Randy Smith
side of his face.
Replaces Erdl.
Seconds to play. Looks like Chad's all right. Shaking it off. Gardner inbounds to Malinowski, immediately fouled by Morris. Jackson will force Perry to win this one at the foul line. A 1-and-1 opportunity. 2nd foul on Morris. Malinowski,
substitution number 20.
first trip to the line. 70% foul shooter on the year. 2 for 3 in the tournament.
Substitution number 24, Tim Erdl.
Wholesale substitutions here.
Replaces Schmidt.
Schmidt is out. Erdl in for Jackson. Gardner out. Young in for Perry. Perry wants a timeout. The lead is 3 for the Panthers. 14 seconds remain to be played. A big 1-and-1 foul opportunity for Brian Malinowski. Remember, his bucket at the end of regulation helped send this one into OT. The hero of the win in overtime over Massillon, putting in the rebound with 5 seconds to go. Larry Taylor diagramming what will happen when Jackson gets the ball back. You really can't predict what's going to happen next in this tournament, not the way it's gone, but you would have to assume that with a 3-point difference, that Jackson has to hope that Malinowski misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Might be tough to come back down by 4 or 5 as we run out of time here in the first overtime period. Hare, Malinowski, Petty, Young, and Spurgeon for the Panthers. Hersig, Bowen, Ertl, Morris, and Miller for the Polar Bears. 6'2" junior forward, Brian Malinowski. Big, big foul shot. He's got 5. The Perry lead is 4. The winner here plays Cleveland St. Ignatius next Wednesday night. We'll join you live at 6:55. Big foul shots, Brian Malinowski. 14 seconds to go. Jackson will need to come down and get a shot off in a hurry. Morris, 10 seconds to play. Ertl for 3. Off the back of the iron, big rebound. Hare tied up. Jackson will get the ball back on the alternate possession, but there's only 4 seconds to play, and Jackson trails by 5. Steve Gardner to check in.
Steve Gardner replaces
Malinowski checks out. So it's Steve Gardner, Young, Petty, Hare, and Spurgeon defensively. Jackson running out of time here. Miller for 3. No. Hare with the rebound. That'll do it. The Perry Panthers will go to the Sweet 16 tournament. And great sportsmanship shown. Embrace at midcourt between Larry Taylor and Larry Wilson. What a scene there. The players congratulating each other in a great show of sportsmanship. Some of the Perry players coming over to see how David Thiel is doing. We will pause and be back with post-game activities. The Perry Panthers beat the Jackson Polar Bears in overtime.
Coming from everywhere for spectacular savings on Nike athletic footwear during Nike Week at Value City. This week only, you can save an additional 20% off our everyday low prices on a great selection of Nike athletic footwear for the entire family. Save an additional 20% off on all men's Nike athletic shoes. Save an additional 20% off on all women's Nike athletic shoes. And save an additional 20% off on all Nike athletic shoes for kids. Now's the time to buy Nike athletic footwear at all Value City department stores.
Hi, I'm Frank with Valley Systems. We're America's recognized leader in industrial cleaning.
Hello, I'm Dave Hansen of Valley Systems, and we work with business and industry to ensure a cleaner and safer world for our children and their children.
I'm Barb with Valley Systems, and our commitment to a cleaner environment shows in our dedication to the community.
I've owned 6 Toyotas. That's years of maintenance-free driving. These cars just keep going. 3 of these Toyotas were Celicas, and after the second, I really thought I'd never find a better car. Until I saw the 1990 Celica, a gorgeous car. Front-wheel drive keeps me going in any kind of weather. The 1990 Celica is the best automobile that I have ever owned. I absolutely love it.
Toyota quality pays for itself. That's why it pays to see your Toyota dealer now.
An outstanding game in overtime, as you see on the Timken Mercy Sports Medicine scoreboard. Perry moves on to the Sweet 16 next week. Right now, Larry Wilson is with TC.
As they cut the net behind us down, the jubilant Perry Panthers, I'm talking to their very relaxed head coach after 2 ho-hum games this week, Larry Wilson.
Ho-hum is right. It just goes to show you, I said it way last September that the Stark County, this sectional district, has, really great competition this year. And I think every district game has shown the competition that exists in this sectional district.
Well, I told Scott before I came down, I don't think anybody that paid for a ticket this week wanted their money back.
Well, definitely so. They got their money's worth and then some this week, because this is a great district.
What did you tell the team after the first quarter when it was 14-4 and you circled them up?
We missed some easy shots there in the early going, and Jackson makes some great plays. And I just said, hey, we just have to keep our composure, come back, and the shots we missed earlier will go in. And they did. Plus, we took up the tempo defensively.
I thought, basketball is a game of spurts anyway, but you don't normally see 10 and 12-point spurts like we saw tonight.
It was definitely 10 and 12 spurts. There's spurts all over the place, and lucky we got to spurt the end. I can't say enough about, Larry Taylor and the Jackson Polar Bears. Larry's a great coach. He runs a great program. He's done a lot for Jackson. He's a great guy.
Very quickly, looking ahead next week, these are the seniors. They waited for them when they were sophomores and juniors. You're in your first regional now. These are the kids you waited for. You got a chance for the whole enchilada now.
Yeah, we do. But you got to stay focused and play well. There's one thing I would like to say, Tom. This game was very important to two people in my hearts as a team. One is Bill Rowland, our principal, who's just a great guy. He has supported us through thick and thin. And the other is Mrs. Ruth Pfeiffer, wife of the late superintendent at Perry High School, who hired me. And she's been a great inspiration to me since the loss of her husband, along with Mr. Rowland.
Well, I'll tell you what, Larry, I know you're emotional. It's been a tough week. You get to coach another game coming up. We're going to have you live, and we hope to root you on and get you out of here down to Columbus.
Thanks a lot. Now, I thank Channel 67 for all the support they've done for Stark County Athletics. It's been great.
Very kind of you, Larry. Good luck. We'll see you later in the week. Okay, Scott, you can wrap it up.
Okay, Athletic Director Joe Demery asking us to announce that the Perry High School ticket office will be open Monday at 7 a.m. for season ticket holders and staff. Tickets will be sold to season ticket holders and staff until 4. Ticket office will remain open from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. for the general public. Then the ticket office will be open on Tuesday, 7:15 a.m. until 3 p.m., Wednesday, 7:15 until 1 p.m., student tickets on sale in the cafeteria on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or as long as tickets last. Quickly, the individual scoring for Jackson: Mylan Herzig, 15, David Thiel with 12, 8 for Scott Miller, 6 for Sean Lutz, 2 each for Jeff Morris and Brent Bowen. For the victorious Perry Panthers, Chip Hare with 16, Chad Spurgeon 10, Jason Petty 9, 6 points for Brian Malinowski, 5 for Tremaine Young, and 4 for Steve Gardner. The final score for the final time in overtime: the Perry Panthers beat the Jackson Polar Bears 50-45. This TV 67 special sports presentation has been brought to you in part by George Wakeham Ford. George Wakeham.